Hokey religion is an ancient weapon. No match for a good blaster at your side.
Welcome to Hokey Religion, the Star Wars podcast. This week we're talking about Episode 9 and other stuff. Like a crappy Terminator, we've returned. This is Tyler.
Like a rusty Terminator.
Like a rusty Terminator, we've returned. This is Tyler.
This is Michael.
Welcome to episode 77.
Hooray!
Now with just as much air horn. And now our podcast has been taken down. Well, Michael.
Yes.
What have you learned this week? I don't know why that was the wording that came to my head.
I learned that Fisher-Price sells my first fidget cube. Why?
Is there any response to that shouldn't be fury?
Blood red angry when I saw that. 100% anger. Right away. Why would you ever buy that?
This little child won't stop. They're just so ADD. They're just looking and learning and touching everything.
They're just crying. They're just crying all the time. You got to give them a fidget cube to make them stop crying. Because that's the problem. They just can't focus.
My toddler just won't focus because they're learning about the world. Yeah.
Why?
Is this Grampcast? Are we just starting off Grampcast again?
Grampcast. Full Grampcast.
Full.
Hashtag Grampcast
Now with
right
more
away.
Grampcast. But that's not Grampcast. Yeah, that's pretty.
That's Grampcast at this point, right? It's like
that's
the,
probably
the 90s.
Probably is, yeah. That's pretty infuriating, I would agree.
Today at work, I had a group of people come in. We sit in this very quiet, sort of empty room. There's only about 4 people, and there's like 9 desks available. We had this group of about 15, 20 people walk right up next to my desk, right there, where so close that people were looking at my posters and stuff that I have up on my desk. I'd be like, oh, and like talking to themselves. They wouldn't look at me.
You didn't exist because
I did not exist.
They were more important than you.
Yes, I was practically. Yeah. I could have been not even there. They were looking at the posters and they were commenting on them. So they go up to this whiteboard that's right next to my desk, and they tape up 4 pictures, and the guy leading the group is like, I want you to write down on the whiteboard, all the attributes you can think of for these 4 items. I don't know, some stupid like orientation.
For all those people that were walking through, this had nothing to do with you still.
No, it's absolutely nothing to do with me. Some group, I had no idea who they were or where they came from.
Got it.
They walked up and did this. And the guy leading was like, I want you to write down all the attributes of these 4 pictures and, split up into groups and do it. And they're all like talking and laughing and stuff. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here trying to work, and I'm looking at the people. I'm looking at them. I could see them. I'm sitting down. They're standing up, looking at their heads. They'll turn around and look at like past me, like over my head, to where it's like I'm invisible. They're like looking at the wall behind me or something. And so I'm sitting there trying to make eye contact, like, what are you guys doing? And so I stand up from my desk and I look at them. And they do the same thing. Nothing changes. And they're still like laughing and talking and yelling at each other. And I don't know.
You're Bruce
doing.
Willis in Sixth Sense.
Basically.
You're dead.
I guess. I thought they were all dead. He's dead in that movie? I've never seen Sixth Sense.
You like truly?
No, I legitimately, I've never seen it.
Well, you have to. You have to. You have to.
You have to see it.
I refuse.
He's dead in the movie, or everyone else is dead and he sees them?
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
No, I'm 100% honest.
How in 30 years has that not been spoiled?
I don't know.
Because
I always assumed that it was a joke.
It's always said verbally out loud.
I know.
Like, that's the spoil thing that people use as an example.
I always thought that was a joke. That, like,
well, now we have to watch the Sixth Sense.
Everyone's dead.
Right.
I know the other people are dead, but he's dead too.
Okay, we have to watch the movie now. This was the spoiler of the century. This was the thing that started spoilers, right?
So you actually just spoiled Sixth Sense for me then.
How is that possible?
How does that
movie came out when I was like 10. It's been like 20 years.
This is not a good way to start this.
I refuse to believe that you've not
Let me
seen
finish.
that
All
movie.
right, let me finish my
All
story.
right.
So they do that, and they're being this way, and so I get up to go get water because I'm like I need to talk to the leader of this group. I need to find him because I considered
I need to find the alpha and punch him in the face.
I considered
Assert my dominance.
standing up and just saying, "Hey, this is a bunch of bullshit. You guys need to go somewhere else." I thought about doing that, but then I thought, okay, I don't know who these people are, whatever. So I stand up and I take my water cup to go get some water, and I'm like walking past them,
Come up and you splash it on someone. You go back and fill it up again. You come back and splash it on another one.
a different person.
Right.
One of you is the leader. Until I find the most sensitive one, and then they run away, and everyone else follows them. That was my plan. So I walk past and try to like eye them, like, all right, who's the alpha here in this situation? Still not making. None of them are making eye contact. They're all
They
talking.
refuse to recognize you.
Yeah, they're all talking amongst themselves. And so I come back, and this is how I know what this guy says is bullshit. I come back, I find the guy it's the white dude, of course. That's obviously leading the group. And I go to him and was like, "Hey, man, there's a couple people in this room that are trying to work, and is there another place where you can go do this?
Isn't there another whiteboard in the world that you could be using
Or
right
any
now?
sort of vertical surface where you could tape pictures? I mean, it doesn't have to be this way. People can write on a notebook or something. It doesn't. Oh, I don't know." And they walk past. There's even another whiteboard in another conference room, but whatever. They walked past that to get to this one. Anyway, so I tell this guy, "Hey, can you go somewhere else? Is there another room where you can do this?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I thought this was a completely empty room." There are 4 people sitting in this room, including me.
You just start whipping your head around looking at things.
I'm right there, right next to this whiteboard. Everyone was looking at me, or past me, through me, whatever.
You're dead.
I guess I'm dead. "Oh man, I'm sorry. I thought this was an empty room." I was like, "No, this is a blah 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 room." The group that we're a part of. There are people that work here. He's like, "Oh well, sorry about that, man. Would it help if we whispered?"
No.
No, you fucking
It would help
idiot.
if you weren't. In general.
How about
weren't.
just go away? So I say, "No, that would this is actually pretty distracting. I think you guys need to go somewhere else." He's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna have him like take pictures of what they wrote and yeah, we'll go."
You should have just like gone and grabbed coworkers and dragged them up. Be like, do you see
See?
this?
Do you see this?
Steve, tell me, do you see this?
I start to slap him a little bit.
You grab him by the lapels and you go all Joker. Hit me!
"Do you feel this?" And I slap the other person. "Do you feel this?" So that was my day. How was your day sitting at home, not having to deal with any of this?
I work at home where no one bothers me.
Except your family.
Except for my family. So a few people bother me.
But it's the people you have to be civil with.
Yes.
The people
I
you
can't
can't
ask my 4-year-old to leave.
go fuck off.
Can't you find another room to do this in?
Well, you can't say that.
This is my corporate bathroom.
This is the executive bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that. So,
Anyway, hashtag Grampcast.
yep, that's starting strong. That's
The millennials came into my work and I was angry. That's basically the short version of that story.
I feel like they all looked like salespeople.
Yes, absolutely,
Yep, okay.
100%. They
Got it.
looked and acted like salespeople.
I know the people exactly.
They were all wearing some color slacks and the nice leather shoes, and they all had belts.
That's the sign of money and douchitude. Belts.
Belts. You fuckers. Take that belt off.
You, give me your belt. No, get out of here.
Who do you think you're fooling? That's not holding your pants up.
Your pants in your belt.
Your pants fit perfectly. You don't need that belt. Save your money.
For what?
Go see a movie. Go get some coffee. Like a normal person.
You could spend the $12 you spend on that belt on a coffee. Like normal people on coffee. $12.
$12. Go get a $12 coffee.
Bring it back here and get out of my face.
Give it to me. And then leave. Leave.
All right. Well, this podcast is supposedly about Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess we can talk about it. Should we? Is that something we should do?
I heard there was a new Star Wars book today.
Nope. Not today.
Nope.
It's been
a different day.
like a week.
Yep, that one.
I assume you've not even looked at the cover.
Nope.
You ass.
I know the title, and I know that it came out before now.
It was earlier this week. Last week? Maybe it was
last week.
It was last week. Yeah, Thrawn Alliances is out. I'm
Hooray!
about 20% through it, and it's fantastic.
I will read it. I just haven't not yet.
It's really good. I mean, if you enjoyed the first one, you'll enjoy this one.
Yes.
Because in the first one you had, it was mostly Thrawn's perspective, right? You had some stuff from Eli. It would cut to Eli, and it would cut to the girl on Coruscant.
I wouldn't say it was mostly his perspective. But
there were, I guess it was about 3 characters. It was Eli Vanto, Thrawn, and what's her face that was on Coruscant.
Eli Vanto's the one person, right? That's not 2 people. Is
yeah,
it?
That was one guy.
All right. Yeah,
and then the girl that was in Coruscant, who was
the Lothal administrator or something,
and her.
Yeah, I forget her name now.
Which those are
I kind of liked her story.
Her story was good, and
the same thing that we've talked about.
Stuff.
The same thing that we talked about with Bloodline. It was more of that kind of political sort of stuff,
political intrigue.
Yeah, that was basically her story, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so I mean, those are all new characters. Whereas in Thrawn Alliances, you have Thrawn,
Vader,
Anakin, because those are definitely different characters as far as how they're written.
Yeah.
Padme. And yeah, so because there's 2 storylines. So if the book, they're being sent to Batu, which is where Galaxy's Edge theme park's going to be.
Are they
Black Spire Outpost, right?
Right.
And that's where they're going in Thrawn Alliances.
Really?
So it's that outpost.
Which, well, we could talk about that later. But yeah, I was gonna say how that, like the behind the scenes stuff, or how that was kind of written and
right. So Anakin, stuff. Way back before Thrawn was involved in the Empire, Anakin was going to Batu for a reason to find Padme, and ran into Thrawn, and Thrawn was helping him try to figure out what's going on with Padme.
Can I use my shoe as a holder for my beer?
Yeah.
Can I just stick it in my shoe down here?
But you should hold the shoe when you drink it. It should never come out of the shoe again. You should drink your beer out of a shoe. So way back when they were going to Batu, they were on Batu when they were younger, when Anakin was Anakin and was a general in the Clone Army, to figure out what was going on with Padme. Nothing like a shoe beer.
There's nothing quite like it.
A shoe ale.
Here's a chance for me to say, go subscribe on Patreon and you can see me drink a beer out of a shoe. Literally right now.
You can. And then the current day story is Thrawn is now, he's Grand Admiral Thrawn, and this is after his run-in with the rebels from the show Rebels on Atollon, and him like failing to capture them.
Yeah.
And then Tarkin was told to take over, and now he and Thrawn and Vader are sent to Batu because the Emperor senses a disturbance. So it's switching back and forth between Thrawn and Anakin and Thrawn and Vader and their happenings on Batu.
Their history together versus their what's
them currently and them back then.
Right.
So there's 2 different stories of intrigue and mystery that are happening with the same 2 characters, but in very different places in their life.
It's interesting that it cut so far forward with Thrawn. Like after, because there was, the whole intro in the first book of how he, how the Empire found him and all that stuff. But then after all the stuff in Rebels and now, it's been years later. It's been a while.
Right. And so they're being sent to look into this disturbance in the Force, which the Emperor has kept hinting at, right? Mm-hmm. And Thrawn has even been hinting at a greater threat to the universe or the galaxy.
Right.
which we're finding out that there's some other race of people that are basically the Yuzan Vong reincarnate.
Really?
A war focused race that has kept tags on what's been happening between the Empire and and the
Rebellion?
not the rebellion, before they were the rebellion, the Republic. Keeping tabs on that and thinking like this might be the good time for them to get involved. So it's this other. I
So
don't
you
know a
think
lot
this-
about them yet, but
Okay, yeah.
but they're this other race of war focused creatures, humanoids that are.
All right. I guess we
Thrawn
could
sees
s-
them as a threat to both the Chiss Ascendancy and to the Empire as well.
Okay.
So it's basically the new Yuzan Vong, which would have pretty big ramifications
Mhm.
to the Star Wars storyline, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess I can't really. We can't really speculate much because you're not done with
I
the
haven't
book.
finished
Or-
it. I don't know
yeah,
how
neither
much
of
it gets
us
into
is,
it,
so-
and I've not looked into it just for the fact that I don't want to know before I get to it in the book.
Right. Huh.
So it's very
All
interesting
right.
because there's a few new
I need to
few new
start.
aliens and races introduced that are involved with that, and of course getting to like see stuff on Batu, and there's the main cantina that they've talked about, and
Mhm.
how it's kind of run down and built into these ruins and stuff.
Right.
It sounds like a cool place.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to.
But
Yeah,
yeah, having
start it.
especially having both Anakin and Vader written in the same book and flipping back and forth between the character and getting the perspective of the character and how he's still an asshole no matter when he was Vader, Anakin/Vader.
Oh.
How he's just like he didn't trust Thrawn then and he doesn't trust Thrawn now. Like he just in general thinks he knows better. Whereas Thrawn is like way smarter than Vader could hope to be.
But at the same time, Vader probably sees right through any kind of fake screen that Thrawn tries to throw up to hide his real agenda, right? Because Thrawn
would
does
assume
that.
so.
Thrawn does that, right? Like he won't be completely honest with people.
I
Like,
haven't gotten that so far with Thrawn and Vader. Thrawn has been very
He would do that.
respectful because Thrawn is also respectful of the hierarchy of leadership, right?
Yes,
So he's still very respectful to Vader,
but he would do that with Eli, where he wouldn't be completely
but
transparent.
Eli
with
was
him.
underneath him.
True, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
He would give a truth, but not the full truth.
Yes, and Vader sees right through that kind of stuff.
I haven't gotten to a point where Thrawn's had to do that yet,
Really?
with Vader at least.
Okay.
Um,
Even Anakin.
but even like with Vader, Vader has been like, well, let's just kill the people or do the thing, like
Yeah,
you just
right.
like do the
Brute-
big loud flashy thing that Vader does,
kind of thing. Yeah.
and Thrawn's like, well, if we do this, this will happen, and then this will be good, and this will more align with what the Emperor wanted us to do, and Vader just kind of side eyes him the way you do with a helmet, and it's just like, as you fine or whatever he says, and
Right.
goes along with it, because either like even with Anakin and Vader, Thrawn still kind of shows him up with actually thinking and not being just like
Interesting.
run in guns blazing like Anakin always did and like Vader does.
Yeah.
So
That's
both,
interesting
in
because-
both time periods, Thrawn is out thinking him, being
Yeah.
like, "Calm down, think about it logistically."
That's
'Cause
funny
he
because
still acts like a child.
Vader still has somewhat of that sensibility. Like he's not full on dumb,
No,
you know. Anakin is still an intelligent person, and still as Vader, he's an intelligent person, and he's written that way in like the comics and in other books that he's been in.
yeah.
So is it any different from that?
Well, it's just him trying to having a show of power, like Vader always tries to do. Like, if we show them how
Oh,
strong
right.
we are, then they'll just bend to our will. Whereas Thrawn's like, well, if we just go in guns blazing, the people we're looking for might go underground or flee, and we will never find them.
Where it's just he could get through any situation with just sheer confidence.
Yeah,
Like that's what he tries
that's what
to
he
do.
tries to do. Whereas Thrawn's like, well, calm down. If we do it a little quieter, we'll probably
Right.
get more than we would your way.
Right.
Right.
That's true.
Um,
And Thrawn is also willing to sacrifice things at certain times, or surrender things if
Thrawn,
it means
Thrawn can much more
in light of the bigger picture.
he can adapt very easily as well to the situation. Whereas Vader is just like his way or no way, and if things
Yeah.
change, he's pissed off.
Mhm.
Um, which you see that with Anakin, and especially with the part with Anakin is he's there. Him and Padme are already secretly married at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's there looking for his wife and just not thinking about what he's doing, basically. Just trying to find Padme like he always does. He wants to
Interesting.
cut her up some 3D fruit. and and Thrawn's just like outthinking him on everything, just like you're a child. Which is it's nice to see too, just
The fruit can wait.
because Thrawn is smarter than most anyone he runs into, right?
Yeah.
So seeing him being respectful to Vader but being smarter than him, and seeing him kind of being sassy with Anakin
Mhm.
because he is technically in the hierarchy of military. He recognizes that he is under him because Anakin is a general and Thrawn is a commander.
Okay.
So he does recognize that and will like give.
Thrawn got demoted after.
Well, this is back
whole
when he's in the
Rebels
Chiss.
thing?
This is when he's in the Chiss.
Oh
No,
yeah,
this
right,
is back
right.
back
I'm
when
getting the timelines
in
confused,
Chiss
yeah.
ascendancy. So
Right.
Thrawn will like default to him, like, so what do you want to do? And then Anakin will
Interesting.
give
Even though
his
he's not
decision.
aligned with the Empire.
Anakin
at
will give
all.
his decision because he's helping him to find Padme. He's helping him on his mission.
Because he
We
knows.
don't know
that-
why yet.
Well,
I don't know why
because
yet.
Vader is a threat. I imagine.
Well, no, this
right?
is Anakin, right? This is way back when in the Clone Wars when Thrawn's helping Anakin.
I could still see Anakin as being a threat to.
Yeah, Anakin just runs into.
I said Vader. I meant
yeah,
Anakin.
Anakin runs into Thrawn, and it's still in the middle of the Clone Wars. And he's helping him because we don't know.
Okay.
He agreed to help him because
Right.
he's trying to find out some information or something, but he didn't really say what. And I think it has to do with this other race that we're
We'll
finding
have
out
to talk about it more once.
But
when
yeah,
Wes
seeing
has
him,
finished it.
he'll defer to Anakin, but then Anakin will give his thought, and then Thrawn will like prod him with more information, like, well, this and this and this and this and this, because he can see, he can see that grass is bent and the life is coming back into it because of the spectrum of light that he can see, right? So it's like, well, look at the grass over here, and the internal dialogue of Anakin was like, it looks like the rest of all of the grass around here. He's like, and Anakin just replies, yes, of course. Like he's just like he just goes along with it, like whatever. He's like,
Really?
he's like, yeah. So as you can see, there was a ship that had been landed here, but it looks like it's been gone for about a week because the grass is slightly raised back up and the life force is still flowing up into it and it's not fully back to its healthy state.
Interesting.
And Anakin's like, yes, of course. Like just totally being haughty about everything because he also thinks he's better than everyone, whereas Thrawn really is better than everyone. And Thrawn isn't ever haughty about it. That's just
Well, he is in certain situations, but like you're saying, he respects.
he's not showy.
Hierarchy.
He's not showy about it.
I guess not. Yeah.
He shows you just by
Anakin
being
is.
smarter, whereas
Yeah.
Anakin will pitch a fit, or
Thrawn is confident in that he is smarter.
he's
than
confident because
everybody.
he knows he's right.
Yeah.
Whereas Anakin's confident because he knows he can kick some ass sometimes.
Right.
Whereas the first fight him and Thrawn get into, Anakin gets knocked out.
By Thrawn?
No, by some like smoke, some gas grenade thing that like
Oh.
he passes out, and Thrawn takes care of everyone, shoots everyone, and kills everyone, and then is just sitting there waiting for him to wake up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Just having the multiple perspectives of Vader and Anakin is really cool, and then having Thrawn through the ages of him dealing with Anakin then and dealing with Vader now, and I'm sure he knows that that's him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing the interaction is really cool. But I will continue to read it and hopefully finish by next episode, but no promises. Because I'm hashtag Grampcast. I'm old. I don't read fast. We got kids. Shit's crazy. I'm doing my best.
Is there something on your heart?
No,
to
I'm
speak
fine.
about?
I love my children.
In bigger news than your children.
Thanks.
There's been the cast announcement.
Yeah, the
for
cast of episode 9. Just out of nowhere, the cast of episode 9 was announced
Oh boy.
with all of the people that are in
We've
it.
got such names as
Number 2.
John Voight.
John Boyd. Yeah, the same cast is returning: Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Anthony Daniels, Lupita Nyong'o, Tom Hall Gleason, Kelly Marie Tran, Juna Suotamo, Billy Lord, Mark Hamill,
Oh,
Billy D. Williams,
oh,
and Carrie Fisher.
She did.
Jesus. Yeah. So Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher both named in the cast of episode 9. So, I mean, I expected Luke to be in it. I think we both did. We didn't think he was dead as far as, like, we expected at least a Force ghost or something in 9, right?
Yes.
Well,
I mean,
that was the hope.
That was the
we didn't
very
expect
strong
Luke,
hope. Right.
We didn't expect, I never expected Luke to definitely not be in 9. It was possible, but I was like, they
wouldn't be that
couldn't.
stupid. Yeah.
They wouldn't.
They can't.
Right. And Billy D. Williams, at this point, it was all but confirmed that he was going to be in it.
Right.
I never ever expected there to be anything about Carrie Fisher.
Me neither. That was really surprising.
So
honestly, though, when I saw Mark Hamill, there was something about that was like, yeah, on one hand, you know that's the smart thing to do, and
yeah,
with Carrie dying and Harrison not in it anymore, you know, you'd want somebody.
Which I thought,
like
which could have just been Billy D. Williams, right?
I don't think so, though.
You have to have
someone
like,
yeah, someone like
Luke or Leia,
right?
I mean, yeah. So I figured Luke would be in it for Force Ghost things, or even just flashbacks with Kylo or something.
I was gonna say, like, it's just, yeah, I don't know. There was something about it that was just so relieving.
Yeah, and then
that.
But Carrie Fisher,
literally brought a tear to my eye.
That Carrie Fisher was in it?
No.
Or that Luke?
That Mark Hamill was.
Interesting. Yeah, but Carrie Fisher, I never ever thought she would, because they had so pointedly said, we will not recast her, we will not use CG
right
to have her in this film.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, they'll probably they'll have to write her out. They will have something that happened in between movies, because there's going to be a time jump where she passed, right?
Which makes me wonder what would they have shot? So so they're bringing her back.
Yeah, so JJ said, so the words of JJ Abrams is, we desperately loved Carrie Fisher. Finding a truly satisfying conclusion to the Skywalker saga without her eluded us, which is all the trouble they had with writing the movie in the first place with the other previous director. We were never going to recast or use a CG character. With the support and blessing from her daughter, Billy, we have found a way to honor Carrie's legacy and role as Leia in Episode 9 by using unseen footage we shot together in Episode 7. Adding to that, recently, Todd Fisher was talking to a ABC News reporter that was talking then to a Star Wars news website, Star Wars Newsnet. And the person said, Todd Fisher, said there were big surprises coming, big surprises with this movie, this performance, and the unused footage. And said, this one is really for the fans. But they apparently have a number of unused minutes from both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
Really?
So Todd Fisher had told this person that they're also using unused footage from Last Jedi as well.
Wow.
Not just Episode 7.
See,
which, the original cut of Episode 7 or Episode 8 was like 4 hours or something. Isn't that what Brian said? Like, it was a really long. The rough cut.
I can't remember now, but I know that he shot a lot,
right,
of stuff.
So we've got unused footage from 7 and 8.
But Carrie was not only really close with him during shooting, but the focus of the movie was supposed to be, well, no, I guess Leia. It would have been Leia's 9 would have been Leia's film,
right?
Technically, I was gonna say,
yeah. So from JJ, we've got stuff from 7, and then Todd Fisher, her brother, has said they're using both 7 and 8 footage.
Yeah,
which gives us probably a large pool to pull from.
That's interesting. I was gonna
say how much footage they had, because I did ask Todd Fisher, and he's like, I can't tell you that, but he said there are many minutes of footage of Carrie.
Very interesting. So it's all just edited together, like words they picked out to assemble.
You can't do this, Luke.
But it's video, so it's like different.
It's like
frames.
a YouTube. It's like a YouTube video where the overly cut YouTube videos where just smash cut to them saying a sentence. There's like 6 cuts during the same sentence to the same person in the same chair. Yeah, that. The backgrounds are all changing.
Yeah, right.
All over the place.
So do you think, I was going to say, until you said the Last Jedi thing, I was going to say, do you think they brought JJ back because of this?
He was holding the footage hostage.
Because
You can't have these cans! And he's got cans of footage and he's running around away.
You can't have them.
And Kathleen and Bob Iger both have this like comically large like butterfly nets
Yeah.
chasing him around.
Yeah. You can't have them. You must hire me back. Oh.
He's just covered in like oil and holding a film canister.
Why oil?
I think of the lubed up deaf guy from Family Guy. That's what I thought. That's what injured my
You
brain.
must catch me first.
You're never gonna catch me. Yeah, that guy. I don't think he was holding the footage hostage. I don't think that's why they brought him back, though. It's because of his previous. I mean, they brought him back because of his previous work, but not. I wouldn't say specifically because of Carrie.
Well, I guess where I was going with that was, do you think they brought him back because they couldn't find a solution for Carrie any other way?
I mean, obviously, the whole rumor with Colin
was that
they could not rewrite the film. Like, there was no acceptable version, like script version that came through. They just could not agree on a script.
Okay, so you think they brought JJ in to consult with that and maybe eventually decided, well, why not just have you do the whole movie?
Timing wise, they were probably out of options, right?
Maybe.
Like, okay,
Ryan didn't want to do it.
Ryan doesn't want to do it, and he's working on a trilogy for them already.
Eventually, he will be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's probably already working on the writing and stuff for that. So Ryan's already working on something else.
Excuse me. There's no like production.
He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do another one back to back, just because of how hard it is to do that back to back.
Right. And I think honestly, if he did want to do that, they would have done that probably. Maybe JJ would have consulted or executive produced on it or something, but I think they would have gone with Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, the time crunch especially, like they needed someone that knew what they were doing and that they could trust to do it.
Yeah.
And that has a track record that can just pump out movies,
right?
Yeah,
we talked about that when Solo was happening.
Like I love JJ, and we've talked about this so many times. I love JJ Abrams stuff. He can put out a good movie.
Yeah.
He can put out a very fun movie.
Yeah.
And it seems effortless.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they trust him and they knew he could do it. And there's probably a time crunch. And I don't know if they had many other options at that point of someone they could trust that much to wrap it up that had the ability to do it.
Steven Spielberg.
He's never busy. He's working on, he's busy on.
He makes bad movies now.
He's busy on Indiana Jones. Speaking of probably bad movies.
Oh, no.
He's busy working on that.
I totally forgot about that. That George Lucas is helping write.
Yeah. So it'll be.
Oh boy.
Real weird. J.J. Abrams made the most sense out of anyone. I don't think they brought him back because of trying to figure out Carrie, but just because of like, we need someone to figure this out and we know you can help us. And he already knew where the story was going too. So it's like the easiest thing and makes the most sense for the situation.
Yeah.
But the fact that they would
sense.
have footage from both 7 and 8 and then be able to use it in 9, I'd never considered that a possibility.
Yeah, me neither. Even now, it's like, how is that? Obviously, that wouldn't be weird. Like, what they have is going to make sense.
Stuff from 8, I could see they shot scenes with Rey or shot scenes with something that would be able to fit in.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you know, especially the way 8 ended with Rey, and like you could see where it was going with her being the motherly figure of helping Rey through the situation.
Right. Right.
And I wonder if they shot more stuff like that. I don't know how anything from 7 would be applicable.
Do you think they shot a Leia death scene in 8?
No.
No?
That would be real shitty.
Do you think? Because I don't know.
So,
I don't know about
all that
one.
aside, I don't see how any footage from 7 would be able to fit in, but I'm sure they have some random stuff with battle, like the ready room or something. I don't know, that would work with Leia.
What do you think about that involving Harrison in some way?
What, flashbacks?
Yeah.
Just flashbacks with Kylo?
Yeah.
It's possible.
Well, no, I don't know. Not flashbacks with Kylo as a kid. I don't know. Just trying to think of what what could you grab from 7 that was originally intended for that story, for that movie, and then make it apply to now?
Just random dialogue from like the war ready room of them like preparing to do battle. I mean, that's what I don't understand. Like, she's not in it a ton, but when she is, she's either inside their
what was she
resistance
really
base or standing
involved?
outside by the Falcon.
What was she really involved in 7?
She's always inside that ready room looking at the map, right? For the most part.
But did they have a ready room situation when they were attacking Starkiller Base? I can't remember now. In this movie.
They were switching back to it some, yeah.
Okay. You think that would?
I don't know.
No, but that would be too weird because it would be obviously
Not the right
from
place.
that scene.
right. That's what
I'm trying to figure out.
like what else would they have shot?
Right. That would
Right.
fit with that story, but at the same time wouldn't be weird. Because that's what I was gonna say is whatever
It has to
they're
be like in
using-
random hallways or like
right.
not outside by the green grass
Someplace that
hills
you wouldn't
of
really
the car.
recognize as, oh, that was supposed to be in this spot in Force Awakens, you know?
Unless, I mean, there's movie magic of cutting her out and putting her in other places, right?
What?
It's possible,
Cut and paste?
basically. So my biggest question now is, does she even die?
Yes. She has
think-
to.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I think there's a good possibility she does not die in Star Wars.
No.
It's possible though. Like you can't deny that it's very
Of
possible.
course it's possible, but it's not likely. She's gonna
Uh,
die. Harrison died.
well,
Mark died.
That's because he's like the most expensive of all of them to have in the movie.
Well,
And he didn't want to.
Of
He doesn't
course.
want to be involved.
I'm not saying practical reasons are not involved here. Carrie Fisher is dead. That's a very practical reason for her to not be in this movie.
This is the last of the Skywalker saga. We will most likely not have a movie with any of these people again. Possibly, they may do other stuff with Rey and Finn and Poe.
Yeah.
It is possible for this movie to end and for Leia as a character to have not died.
I think she's gonna die. I think she's gonna die. Did we make this bet on 8? That Leia was gonna die?
No,
I think we did, and I can't remember what I said. That's
I
the
don't.
problem with all of our...
You were unwilling to bet any money. That's what it was. Is because you'd lost twice before.
Yeah, but what was I going to do? I wish I could remember these
I
bets.
think you were gonna say she wasn't going to die. I think somebody listen to our podcast because we don't and tell us what we said.
What did we say? Seriously, I want to know.
Yeah.
What did I say? What was that bet? Because this time I want to bet the opposite of that.
I
she
say
is
there
going
is
to
a
die.
75% chance she does not die in 9.
That is high. Those are high.
Yeah, it's true. That's
I
big
don't
numbers.
I don't agree with that. Once again, we're gonna have to wait a year and a half to figure this
Right.
out, and I'm gonna forget what I said, but
I mean,
I'll make a note of it.
I'm just saying they don't have to. They do not have to kill her in 9. They don't have to do it.
For what reason?
There's this big story happening that's very focused on Kylo and Rey and something with Finn and Poe and Rose.
Why would they do that?
But like there can be a little bit of
How could you not
Leia
give
at the
closure?
beginning and a little bit of Leia at the end, and then she just never has to die.
That would be so weird though, because we all know in our minds Carrie Fisher is not
I know.
around anymore.
And but she doesn't have
It
to
would be
be in any
too
more movies
weird.
either.
It would be like keeping Paul Walker in Fast and Furious alive, even though he's dead. It would be like making another Star Trek movie with Chekhov, that guy that played Chekhov that died, that his own car ran him over.
That was horrible.
That was horrible.
That was horrible.
Not that Paul Walker wasn't horrible, or this wasn't.
Well,
but his own car ran him over. That's just terrible.
Paul
man.
Walker killed himself.
No, it wasn't a suicide. He
It was
got
his
into a wreck.
driving his car too fast like he was in a movie like an asshole.
Yeah, but he's a good driver though. Didn't something happen with that? Where like it was something unexpected?
I don't think so.
Like he
I
got
think
into a
was just
car wreck?
I think he was just driving way too fast illegally.
I don't know. I'm gonna drink out of my
Whereas
shit.
Chekhov was hit by a car that was previously parked in his own house,
Mhm.
in his own driveway. Pinned and then later at some point died until he was found.
I'm just saying,
That was
forget the
horrible.
circumstances. Think about the
Getting off on
characters.
tangents about random people dying.
Think about the characters. If those characters survived,
But there's more movies with those characters in them, possibly.
yeah, that's what this is. That's what 9 is.
Nope. After 9, there doesn't have to be anything else.
But the Fast and Furious after Paul Walker died, didn't it mention his death as a character?
I've never seen past like 2.
I don't know either. Why did I bring this example up? I've never seen any of them.
Didn't they do that? Didn't they? Did they? Anyone?
They would have had to. I never saw any of them,
But
so I don't know.
I'm just saying if it's 9, it's the end of the story, and they want
Number one.
and they want to have the character of Leia around for other stories. They don't have to kill her.
Number 1, tell me what I bet for what happened to Leia.
Pretty sure you thought she wouldn't die.
Number 2, tell me how Fast and Furious works. Because I haven't seen any of them.
You can be fast and furious. You can also be too fast and too furious. I'm not certain about 3 Fast, 3 Furious.
That seems like the logical.
You could probably be 4 Fast and 4 Furious. Like
Four
an
fast
like
and
an
4
FOR
furious.
situation.
I'm 4 fast and 4 furious.
It's just Vin Diesel running for governor.
I'm for both.
It's Vin Diesel running for governor, and that's his. I'm 4 fast and I'm 4 furious.
With the 1/4 thumb.
Yeah, right.
I'm 4 fast and 4 furious.
Vote Diesel. Or whatever his character's name is.
See me
because I don't care.
on Patreon. Do the 1/4 thumb. I'm 4 fast and 4 furious.
So I'm just saying
I'm
don't.
for the people.
I'm just saying they don't have to kill her if they want Leia around for more stories. Not in film. Which is possible.
They would not kill her in a book. That's my thought. Or a comic. I think it's too big of a thing. This has to be a movie.
If she dies, it has to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
So you think they're just gonna keep this character alive forever?
But they don't write a book per year about the like. They don't have like a year, like a yearly Star Wars book that's just like, all right, year 2. Leia went to the grocery store.
Here's
and
all
bought
the
some
Star
Jabba fruit.
Wars
Right.
that happened in the last year.
Right. So it's I don't know. At some point, there's just no more stories about Leia, right? I mean, I'm saying it's possible. I think it's a high possibility that they may not kill her. Possibly. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 or 60-40 on it right now.
50-50, 60-40 does not equal 100.
Both of those together?
That's a lot of numbers.
Yes. I'm like
That's at
75, 22.
That's at least 150.
At least. Other than the main cast that's returning, there are new people. 2 people I don't know.
Who are they? What are their names? Maybe I can help you out.
There's a British actress named Naomi Ackie. She is best known for a role in the 2016 movie Lady Macbeth.
Oh, with the guy.
No, I'm sure there might have been one. I have no idea what Lady Macbeth is film-wise from
his
2016.
name? What's his name?
Rudyard Kipling.
Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
Michael Fassbender?
Sure, that's an actor.
Was that him?
That's an actor.
Was she in Macbeth? That Macbeth?
Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth, not just Macbeth.
Is that the same?
And I think Fassbender was a Macbeth or a Robin Hood or a something in those sounding times.
There was someone named Cosmo Jarvis in that movie.
That's not a real person. I refuse. Cosmo Jarvis is a spy on a Disney cartoon.
Cosmo Jarvis. Cosmo Jarvis. No.
So I'm sure Naomi
All
Ackie.
his photos are in black and white.
I'm sure Naomi Ackie is a fantastic
he looks like
actress.
He has cancer. Whoops. He
doesn't look
100% has cancer
He
in that
doesn't look
picture,
good.
right?
He's jaundiced. Then there's also
Look how short his arms are. His arms look really short, don't they?
Let's stop making fun of this man we don't know.
He's Cosmo Jarvis. You can't have a name like Cosmo Jarvis and not expect someone to make fun of you.
That's true. Also, Richard E. Grant, who played Dr. Xander Rice.
Look at that. He
in
looks
Logan.
like a tiny person. Doesn't he look like a tiny person?
I assume that Cosmo Jarvis is leading a fantastic life, having acted beside Naomi Ackie. Richard E. Grant, who plays Dr. Xander Rice in Logan, is in the film. And also Kerry Russell. Kerry Russell, who was in Mission Impossible 3, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and a ton of other stuff. She's been in lots and lots of things. So we
Kerry
talked about
Russell's
Kerry
cool.
Russell previously about how everyone just assumes she'll play Ray's mom or something because
Yeah,
if not a mob, then what? But there's been actually a lot of rumors about Richard E. Grant. First
a
off,
lot, or is it just one source that you have for this?
a few rumors.
A couple.
Well, first off, I mean,
Two.
look at him. He's definitely going to be an Imperial / First Order type.
Yeah, he's
person, right?
the British.
He is the white
Imperial type
British
person,
dickish person that is in charge.
Right.
Yeah.
But
there's a very strange rumor about him playing Thrawn in 9.
Thrawn.
And that rumor was being thrown around, and he even recognized the rumor with just like nah, I don't know, like goading people.
Goating people.
Yeah.
Goating.
Goating. Yeah. He
Goateeing.
hurled goats at people.
Goateeing people.
Goatseeing people.
Oh no, that's different.
Oh, that's not the same thing.
That's a lot of stretching involved.
So Thrawn, don't look up Goatsy. Not in my house.
Who checks on that though? Because it could
Let me
be,
just double check.
It could be really funny depending on who does.
So, but yeah, there's a rumor of him playing Thrawn in 9. And
Old Lemon Party Thrawn.
Ugh. All that blue and yellow.
Oh no. All those blue waffles.
No more horrible genitalia meme on our podcast, Michael. So,
had any good blue waffles today?
there's not, those two words don't go together.
Okay.
Good and that.
And blue and waffle.
Anyways, first off, I think it's just a fan thing saying he'd play Thrawn. I don't think that character would have any fit or place into 9.
It would be a huge.
That's a major
shoehorn.
character to just be like, bloop, here he is.
Yeah.
And then just like not.
Blip bloppity bloop.
Yeah, like he just is around.
As our favorite scoundrel once said.
Blip bloppity bloop. Is that what he said?
That's what what's his name said? I can't remember his name now. What's his name? The hacker. The one who should be called
Cosmo
Slicer.
Jarvis.
Yes. Cosmo Jarvis. Old Star Wars' Cosmo Jarvis. You know him, you love him.
Who are you talking about? JD? DJ, not JD. JD is from Scrubs.
DJ.
DJ. Is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Did he say blip bloppity bloop?
Yeah. Remember?
I choose to forget everything he said.
He actually said blip bloppity bloop. Remember?
What? Nope.
Blip bloppity bloop. You're in. Remember he said that?
Urine?
You're in. You're in.
Okay. Is that just, he's just talking to himself in the bathroom. He's just getting ready to go.
Blip bloppity bloop.
Pumping himself up.
Urine, urine.
Blip bloppity bloop. Urine. And then he starts peeing.
Urine, urine.
Oh. Oh, where
standing
have we ended up, Michael?
He's standing waist deep in the toilet.
What have we become? No, yeah, so Thrawn and Richard E. Grant, as much as I love Thrawn, I think that would be way too distracting, right? To have Thrawn all of a sudden just up in 9 in the First Order, out of place.
Yeah, it would be out of place, yeah.
But give me a Thrawn live action film and I'll take it. All right. Also, the rumor comes out that
The rumor, it does, it's true.
that Mark Hamill supposedly will be filming scenes at Pinewood Studios with both Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley.
That's the two of them.
Yes, which this rumor came out right like previous to the cast announcement.
Oh ho.
So the rumor comes out it is true. That
Bruno
he'll
Mars
be
does his gay.
Yeah. And that a set for the scene is being specifically constructed for those 3 people to have
A set, you say?
Yes.
On
So
a movie
at
set?
a studio, a set's being constructed for 3 actors.
For a motion picture.
For 3 actors, no less. Yeah. So
What is this?
that's all we need for rumors these days. They're building a set for an actor in a film. Can you believe it?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Extra.
It was a rumor before he was listed as cast. So at this point, yeah, you can assume he's going to be in a scene with Daisy and Adam. And
They're actors.
they are definitely that. Other than episode 9, there's
They are, Michael. Good observing.
good. Go back
Good
to
observance.
drink your shoe beer.
Shoe beer. Here we go.
The other non-episode 9 stuff that's happened this week or recently, the German website posted information.
Which one? There are several.
It was not listed in any of the articles I could find. A German site listed the air date for the Resistance show as October 13th in Germany, with a first season of 22 episodes.
That is in the future.
So it's sooner. It's sooner than I thought it would be.
20 episodes?
22 episodes in the first season. October 13th is sooner than I thought we would see Resistance.
That means... Really? You think so?
I mean, it was announced in June, I think.
I don't know. It was announced at...
I expected it to be next year, to be honest.
At that place.
IHOP. I don't know. You're looking at me for a response, and I have no idea what you were talking about.
That's the first place you could think of?
It was either Applebee's or IHOP, and that's the one that came out.
Really? When I say place, those are the only two things that you can think of.
Like, what's the
Applebee's and
shittiest
IHOP.
place I can think of?
Okay.
And Applebee's and IHOP are the two.
Okay.
Anyway, not Comic-Con. No.
Yeah, Comic-Con. That's the place I was thinking of.
Resistance wasn't announced at Comic-Con.
No,
just happened.
wait. No, it was at a convention though, wasn't it? Or I guess they just shared the art. Didn't they share the art at a convention?
Maybe it was another Comic-Con.
Damn it, we talked.
Was it
about
New
this
York City
already.
Comic-Con?
We talked about this already, and I can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
It happened in like June though. So I honestly didn't expect it to already for it to be announced and then already coming out in October. I expected it to be next year. Personally.
But what I was gonna say is the 22 episodes thing that kind of has to be bummed out because that means it's gonna be the same
format.
The same format as Rebels, where they even have like the break in between. They have like
most likely it'll have the winter break.
They'll have the season divided into 2 parts.
Yeah.
To where it kind of doubles the seasons in a way.
It'll show in the fall and then it'll come back in the spring, right? It'll have the winter break, I assume.
Do you think that's because it's an animated show? They do that? Why does that stuff happen?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Why it does is, Tyler.
But yeah, it's sooner than I thought it was, so October. And it is from that information it was quote confirmed that it is like a 3D CG animated show. Not like a 2D CG, like that weird cartoon, but
April 26th it was announced.
Yeah, it's not like that 2.5D like weird, I don't know, like not it's going to be a CG show. That's all I could say. Like I guess like Rebels.
Yeah,
it's
we talked about that. It's like that new anime style where it's kind of it looks animated but it's all computer drawn stuff.
Right.
It's not really 3D, but yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of TV, Disney is trying desperately to get back their rights to stream and show and the TV and streaming rights for the Star Wars
Hey,
films.
here's an idea. Don't sell them in the first place.
Yeah, they
don't get rid of them.
They got Star Wars. They made these deals with Turner Broadcasting and Netflix, right, for all their films. Then they're like, let's make a streaming service. Well, okay, great. We don't have the rights to any of our big stuff to do that.
And this is the original trilogy and the prequels that they don't have.
Yeah, and if this Fox merger continues to go through, they will have access to the original trilogy now as well, all the way, as far as I'm aware.
It's not streaming rights though.
I don't know how that works.
Distribution rights,
right?
Yeah. So like they could re-release an original trilogy.
Supposedly, yeah. I don't know what all comes with the rights with that, but I assume that would be included.
Or I mean, they would be able to do it from Disney.
Yeah. So Disney.
Who cares?
Yeah, Disney made a $275 million 8-year deal, which is set to expire in 2024 with Turner Broadcasting. which gave them the rights for the pre-Disney Star Wars movies and any movie that Disney will make from now until when the deal expires. So Turner Broadcasting has access to Disney movies for TV purposes, for TV distribution, whatever. So the pre-Disney Star Wars movies and any movie that Disney will make from them now until the deal expires. It should be noted that the cable rights also include the online rights as well, which is a big headache for Disney considering they're looking to relaunch their streaming service.
Wow.
Or looking to launch.
Wow.
So Turner Broadcasting has an 8-year deal with access to the TV and streaming rights of Disney films, and Disney's now like, oh, can we have those? Can I have those back? So they tried to buy them. They tried to buy them back, and Turner Broadcasting so far has said no.
So that explains why, like, say, Empire Strikes Back or whatever is playing on TNT constantly, because TNT is part of Turner.
Yes.
And TBS.
Yep. All those channels that have movie marathons like TNT and TBS. Yeah, they have the rights to.
Right.
That's why you always see all the Star Wars movies on like in a row, or all of James Bond or stuff like that. Like,
right.
Deals like this. And they made one with Turner, which those are the big channels that always do stuff like that with movies, which made sense before they decided to make a streaming service where they're like, oh yeah, can we have the rights to our stuff back, please? And Turner so far has said no with no further comment.
That's interesting that they included streaming rights with that. I wonder if that was just kind of tacked on.
And then they also have the deal with Netflix, and so far Netflix has been fighting to keep that as well.
The new movies, because Netflix can't stream the older movies, right? Have they ever had those?
They've had some older stuff. A lot of it got pulled off, has been pulled off. So like,
as of now, yeah. Yes. But have they ever had like the prequels or anything like that? I can't remember.
I don't think so. But yeah, they still have the deal, and supposedly Netflix is still trying to fight to hold on to that. So Disney, we'll see what happens with their streaming service if it's just going to be original content, because so far they can't get any of their current content back from anybody because they're like, but sorry. And everyone's like, no. They have a contract, and there's not really any way to
unless they were
pay
to
them
buy
more
them
money.
out of the contract.
They have to buy them out plus some, right? They have to give them something else.
Yeah, right.
Which so sucks to be them.
They can afford it.
Yeah, I mean, with all the money they just threw at Fox, sure. I don't think there's any other Star Wars things I could talk about.
We stayed out at Disney recently, and out in the Walt Disney World area, they're putting up this new transportation system called the Skyline, which is this, like gondola type thing that hangs,
like a ski lift, but more safe,
basically. Yeah, but with like cabs. They can hold a bunch of people.
You strap a cab car to a cable and.
But just seeing that reminded me of just how much money Disney has, where they could just, there's problems with, like the monorail system isn't super reliable, at least, not.
Well, all the wrecks.
There's traffic everywhere. Like they're trying to, there's construction all over the place with Hollywood Studios, with Galaxy's Edge going in, and traffic is crazy and all this stuff. So they just decided to throw this in, and it connects like the studios and Epcot and a bunch of hotels and stuff. They're just going to throw it up, and it's going to be ready by like the end of this year or sometime early next year.
While all these other gigantic projects are happening, like Toy Story Land just finished, and the Star Wars Land is still being built. And,
So let's just throw up this brand new transportation system. We'll just throw a couple
get
$100 million
the gondolas out of the garage. You just throw them up for the people.
As just another way to connect all these hotels, which is going to be great. I mean, to be able to go from one of the hotels and not have to take a bus, which is really the only way to do that now. Yeah. If you want to take it out to, whatever, Epcot or something like that, you hop on one of these little Skyline things. Yeah. It's crazy. It's just how much money they have just to throw
at every problem. Like every problem is solved with money, and it's...
So things like this, I mean, come on. If it's really important to them, they're going to buy out the contract. There's no question about that.
But when you think about like broadcasting networks like TBS and TNT and Turner, like that's a dying medium, right? Like that's a lot of their money.
They're holding on to the very last bit of
It's like newspapers
leverage that they
still.
have.
Right.
I'm sure.
So like they could, if they wanted to, just death grip this and not give it back because like
Yeah.
what else do we have?
Yeah.
And Disney's just gonna have to wait 5 years or more than 5 years to get it back.
Mhm.
6 years. Which I mean they
That's
could
more
very
than
possibly
5.
do.
Good
6
math.
is more than 5. I did the math.
By all accounts,
Math was done.
all this research that I've conducted, 6 is more than 5.
After peer review, we've concluded that
6 is more than 5.
happens to be more than 5.
That's just how it works. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you disagree with that, but
Well,
that's it. Goodbye.
I didn't expect to have as much 9 stuff out of nowhere. Like cast announcement and the stuff with Carrie, especially.
Yeah, they
I
gotta.
was expecting. I was like,
a little bit here.
like the other day, like before all that was announced, I was like, I gotta keep reading Thrawn so we have something to talk about on the podcast because there's nothing going on. It's just, the death to everywhere.
Do you think so? Principal production on 9 has already started.
It has
right?
started.
That doesn't it seem like the release date is like really far off for
A year and 4 months or whatever.
for principal production to be starting now, and let's say they shoot for 6 months, something like that's probably even on the
Well, JJ
higher
won't be
end.
editing 2 weeks before it hits theaters this time, hopefully.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you think about 8 and how fast we talked about.
It
this
was
before,
done so
but
far in advance of it.
It was done months before the release date, like the
it
final
was like
cut.
6 months, right?
Yeah,
Like it was a long time.
No, it wasn't that.
Three?
It was, yeah, it was
3 or
like
4 maybe.
3 months maybe. But yeah, that's I mean, totally not the couple weeks before release date that happened with 7.
Yeah, but that's because it was a rush.
So now you've got say 6 months from now. I mean, what is that? April, May, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe even sooner than that. Then you've got a whole another 6 months or whatever. More than that, 8 months.
With a slow
9
leak of
months
teasers, then half trailers, the trailers for the trailers that people do now.
to cut it together and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
It just seems like so much time.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll push it up to
Well, I mean,
like,
they've
to a May
got that.
release
They've
date?
got the score has to be recorded from John Williams, which was confirmed as well, which we didn't mention, but it's kind of a no-brainer. He's alive. He's going to do it.
That is cool that he's getting to do that.
I wonder if he'll
getting
be.
to finish it
I think
out.
he'll be done after this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Definitely.
I think he's even said that before, right?
He keeps
He wants to stop.
He keeps saying it
He wants to stop composing for Star Wars, but he doesn't want anyone else to do it.
because it's his. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like his baby. He doesn't want anybody to mess it up.
I think this will be it for him
Yeah.
for sure.
I think so.
This is going to be it for a lot of people. I think this is the last hurrah
For
in certain ways for Star Wars 9.
what fans for
I don't know. I really think so. I think Star Wars is going to become just another normal franchise. It's not going to be like the big deal franchise that it always has been after the saga is over.
to some.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that's already happened. In
It's possible.
normal people's perspective, maybe that's
But
already
like at
happened.
this point, we're the middle-aged guys, which I mean I call us middle-aged. 30, I guess, is kind of middle-aged these days, and
I'm
people
not living past 60. Are you kidding?
right. We're at our middle age, where like I remember people that like when I was a kid and like people's dads who were like so into Star Trek, but Star Trek was on like the 10th iteration by that point, right? From like the 70s to the
And it had failed so many times
right,
to
and it
try
was
to
like
come
on the
back.
next gen, like past the next generation, and on to all these other shows, and they were still into Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like in 5 years, that's us with Star Wars.
That's like my
Maybe not even
dad.
that. It's like 3 years from now. That's us with Star Wars.
That's
It's
like
like
my
it
da-
already finished on a high note, but we're still like, oh, the new Star Wars thing's out. We've got all the books and all the things, and
But that's
our
like
fanny
that's like
packs.
my dad now, who is super into Star Trek, more so than Star Wars, I'd say. But only the original series.
like he's just still.
I don't
is
think
all
he's
about it.
watched. He hasn't watched the Next Generation. He hasn't watched Voyager. I don't think he's watched any of Discovery. The
Maybe
new
it's not a
stuff.
good example because it's not a continuous story. It's not a.
And again, it's tried to be. There have been attempts to reboot it many times that most have failed. Some have been successful, like Next Generation. I would say Discovery is probably successful considering some of the other things that they've tried to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's all about the original series and not
Just holding on to the.
And I feel like we aren't really that way, right?
Not yet.
I mean, I guess we'll see what comes
later,
but
given our attitude towards Rebels and you already judging the Resistance for looking like it's exactly like Rebels.
But you can objectively, it looks exactly like
after
Rebels.
we get past the Skywalker saga.
Ugh.
Is that us? We're just like, everything that's not the Skywalker saga is a piece of shit. These kids and their who's and what's it's, Broom Boy.
It's Who's and What's It's 3. Star Wars, Who's and What's It's.
Yep, Star Wars 3.
Why can I only think of a vacuum cleaner when I say that?
Who's and what's it?
Who's and What's It?
You're thinking of like a movie from the 60s and someone's trying to fix a vacuum cleaner? Martha, get me the who's and what's it? I gotta fix this damn vacuum cleaner.
No, that's like the brand of vacuum cleaner.
Oh, just who's and what's it? Who's and what's it vacuums? And more?
Yes. And more, like clocks.
Sure. What else spins? Clocks. Blenders.
Wheels.
It's just the same motor
Cars.
for everything. So you got a clock with this motor and it's just like on the wall.
It's still ticking at the normal speed, but it's like
it's as loud and as violent as a vacuum from the 50s.
All the potential energy.
Right.
But then you put it in a car and it's like the car is a really bad car because it's just a vacuum cleaner motor.
Somebody made a who's and what's its motor engine cyclone thing and they're just using it for everything. Much like Dyson, but not as good.
It's Who's and What's It. I mean, come on. It's not the best.
A name you can trust.
You can trust, but it's not the best.
A name you can trust from a distance. All right, that's definitely more than enough of this podcast and us with our beers, shoe beers.
Shoe beers.
If you enjoyed this show, please go on to the iTunes or places that allow ratings and reviews and leave us the appropriate amount of stars and words you deem necessary.
Has that happened at all recently?
Nope. No one. It's just same people every episode.
I think we've reached 100% saturation.
You listening? You're it.
You're part of the problem.
You've not spread this disease.
It's one of those things where if you see something, you should say something, and if you don't say something, you're the problem. So at this point, you are the problem because you have not spread this.
Great.
Spread the syphilis. That is this podcast. And we'll be grateful. We'll drink a shoe beer in
two
your
episodes
honor.
in a row we've talked about syphilis? Or maybe that was episode
we talked
4.
about 4?
We talked about a prostitute.
Episode 4 was a long time ago.
No, I said the episode before. We talked about a prostitute named Syphilis. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. We called the episode that.
No, we almost did.
We did not do that?
We did not do that.
Oh, well, that's
you can find us on Twitter at Hokey_religion. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube. And as mentioned earlier, if you go to patreon.com
Facebook is dead.
Yeah, pretty much. If you go to if you go to patreon.com/hokey_religion, you can
hear these boops.
Great. You can donate as little as $1 a month, $2.50 a month. You'll get a free sticker. It goes towards helping pay for show costs and things like that, and supports us in that way.
You can hear these boops that I'm doing on my laptop right now.
Michael's making boops that you'll never hear, but it's super annoying for me to try to talk over at the same time.
All the free cheapskate people will never hear this. But.
Great. But yeah, hit us up on Twitter. You can email us at asklobot@hokeyreligion.com. And I think those are all of the things. I am done talking.
Really?
Yep. You good? Are we good here?
I'm trying to figure out if... What is our...
Cosmo
Jarvis. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Cosmo Jarvis to you all.
Hokey religions and ancient weapons. magic for a good blaster at your side.